With housing accessibility issues remaining a major challenge in Nigeria, GTEX Holdings, a global business with focus on real estate and the creation of green and smart homes, seeks to solve the problem by applying tried and tested solutions for the Nigerian housing sector. The company has come up with the most flexible payment plan in the history of Nigeria's housing market. The concept is one that allows people deposit 5 million naira and spread the balance over a 24 to 36 months period with a 4% monthly interest. This is in line with a mission to deliver 25,000 green and smart residential housing units by 2035, the most ambitious project in their 14-year history. Their goal is to eventually be the largest green and smart home provider in the world. Joining us now to discuss how GTEX Holdings is solving housing accessibility issues in Nigeria is Dr. Stephen Akintayo, MD, GTEX Holdings. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, let's start with definitions. Could you tell us this idea of green and smart homes? That may sound new to some people. And, what have you been doing in that regard in Nigeria?
Beautiful. So green means basically that you're using renewable energy, solar, another option. Wind is part of green. Oftentimes people think green is basically just about the trees, the plants. That's part of it. Or when you say green and smart home, you're talking about renewable energy to power the home. Smart just means that they could use their phones, they could use gadgets to interact with the home. So, for example, some of the prototypes we've done, you can even use voice command to put on your air condition and to open your curtain, to put on your TV. And so a house that you can interact with is the aspect of the smart. So when you combine the two, then you have a green and smart home.
Excellent innovation, and we wonder, Mr. Dr. Akintayo, with regards to the green and smart home, when you describe a home like this, the first thing that's coming to the mind of a number of people is cost. How expensive will these houses be? Can Nigerians afford it? Are we ready for smart homes in Nigeria?
Well, green, yes, we're already smart. It's even becoming very common now. A lot of people, because of insecurity in the country, people are having to make their homes smart. Because when you look at the smart technology from anywhere in the world, you can log into the app and see what's going on in your house. The houses is automated. You have to use your thumbprint or code to access the house. So because of security, a lot of houses are becoming smart even in Nigeria. Green, definitely we are ready for. We saw what happened with the flooding, and we know that Africa cannot even afford to abuse the climate the way the Western world has. We can't, because we don't even have the infrastructure to manage, effects of climate change or climate disasters. And so it's important that we're ahead of the curve. It's important that we begin to build houses that are adaptable. And the beautiful thing is also that what I call the incompetence by the governments in Africa has also made people to be innovative. You don't have constant electricity to start with. So naturally, everybody uses solar. Most of our offices now, we use solar there. And it saves us the cost of, having to pay for PSN or whatever the names are now. And you're able to just generate your own power, and it's sustainable, it's cost effective in the long run. In the short run, yes, green and smart is expensive, but in the long run, it's always more affordable and cheaper.
Right, good to see you again, Dr. Stephen. But Stephen, good to see you again. I just want you to, just get us through market realities. What's the market like now in real estate? What are the costs, implications, and also as regards sales and pricing and things like that? What's an overview of the market and the need in the market, the housing deficit, housing gap, and everything.
Well, at the moment, the real estate market in Nigeria is slowing down. The deficit is still there, but people's ability to afford to be able to pay. I mean, for example, how two-bedroom flats, you averagely used to go around 20 to 25 million naira just 2-3 years ago. Right now, you're looking at 50-something million naira. Right, so an average Nigerian cannot really afford to just be able to pay for a house or own a house. And that's a major issue that we're still facing. However, globally, houses are not as affordable as we think. I'll give you an example. Even up to today, a 3-bedroom in Dallas, Texas, and thank God because we operate globally, so we can give what of things in other sectors. A 3-bedroom in Dallas, Texas, what it will cost you, you will be able to get 2 of that in Nigeria. Here in Dubai, the average cheapest housing is $300,000 for just one bedroom, right? If you're going to 2-bedroom, you're looking at over $600,000. Now, with that kind of money in Nigeria, you probably get 2 or 3 or 4 units for that pricing. But what they've done in this part of the world is to make sure that it's accessible. How do we mean? You can just deposit 20% and you spread the rest in 30 years. The UK recently realized that even the 20% most people can afford, so they started first-time buyer scheme in the UK, where you drop 10%, government drop 10%, and then you get a lender to give the remaining 80%, and you spread the payment back in another 30 years. So for us is that we've seen, because we operate in this market, that our clients in this part of the world are able to access, not necessarily that it's affordable, but everybody's almost able to access housing in other parts of the world compared to Nigeria, where you don't have enough funding, the structure is not there for proper mortgage system. So accessibility is a big issue.
Okay, could you tell us about some of your projects, because you've been in this space for some time, where those projects are located and what the experience has been. And then you've talked a bit about challenges, the incompetence of government, access to power, issues with finance. Are there other challenges that you have not talked about yet?
Okay, yeah, one of the major issues right now is the Naira dollar crisis, because that's also part of why, almost the cost has doubled in just 2-3 years, right? Because most of the materials to build houses are imported. It's also part of why you see issues of building collapse, because a lot of developers are almost forced to find a way to make it affordable. And sometimes in the process of trying to make it affordable, you compromise on quality. So these are part of the issue. So one of the things we've done with this program is to make sure that it is pegged at a dollar value. So right now, if you're buying 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom in this program we're doing, so what we're doing is phase 1 of 1,000 housing. All this while we have houses everywhere, country, in Nigeria, in the UK, in the US that we sell, even at the moment. But usually you have to pay everything at once, and then we'll give you the key to your house. But we just launched a new 1,000 housing project where it's off plan. As you pay gradually, we are going to spend the next 3 years to build. By March next year, we're going to start construction. So locations include 5 locations in Asaba, Abuja, and Abeokuta, and we're going to be expanding to other parts of Nigeria as well. But phase 1 is just 1,000 units, and we have 3 years for the clients to pay and 3 years for us to also do construction. So we're able to take care, first come, first serve. Those who do outright by the first quarter of 2024 will be able to have keys to their house, while others who are spreading for 3 years will be able to have keys to their house after completion of that. But what we've done to avoid issues of prices changing is to say, if, for example, we are selling to you at the rate of $50,000, it is the dollar price. So even if you are paying in installment, whatever you pay in Naira, we value it how much out of the $50,000 have you paid, and constantly like that till you're done paying. Else, what most of us have struggled with is as the cost of cement that probably was going for 2,200 Naira suddenly jump up to 4,800 Naira, and that's not in your control. You didn't do anything to make that happen. And now you are affected if you go back to the customer and say, please, you need to add more for variation. The customer calls you scammer and all manner of stuff start happening. So what we've done is to say the pricing will be in dollar. You can pay us in Naira, but you will keep paying the initial dollar value till you complete your payment. And we hope this will help us keep the price safe.
All right, Dr. Akintayo, I'm glad you've highlighted some of the challenges plaguing not just developers, but Nigerians as a whole in terms of accessing housing. Indeed, a recent report says about 30% of Nigerians do not have access to housing. And this is one thing you're looking to solve. And your vision is quite ambitious. However, I'd like you to break it down to us how you are hoping to solve the housing contributing to solving the housing challenges, problems in Nigeria through your recent initiative and payment plan. Please explain to us.
Well, first is the issue of accessibility. So what we've done with this promo is that once you hit up to 30%, we will introduce you. If you can't complete the payment in 3 years, we will link you up with a mortgage company that will then help you extend that to another 10 to 15 years, right? So technically, for those who can't even meet up paying the entire payment in 3 years, they can almost have access to 10 to 15 years to pay. And I think that's a major solution, because if at some point I pay up to 30% and I'm struggling to complete, I can then, GTEx can link me up with a mortgage bank that will sort out GTEx, and then I and that mortgage bank will continue the payment structure we've agreed. And we think that is a major solution we're bringing to the market. We have 13 years to go in our audacious vision of 25,000 housing. But in reality, when you look at the fact that some figures says 10 million housing deficit, some say 20, some say 25. The reality is that private sector, government combined, none of us is even doing 1 million housing units every year as we speak, right? So the truth is that the housing deficit is still huge. We even need more people in the market. But to raise funds, what we have done that is just remarkable is to open office in the US, in the UK, and here in Dubai, and to actually do real estate here, so that ultimately we're able to attract foreign investment. And it will be easier for a lot of our foreign partners to invest in Nigeria because they've seen what we've done here. They've partnered with us here. We've kept to our word with, the interaction. Currently, right now, we have over 100 housing that we control here in Dubai alone. And so when you build that kind of international credibility, when you now say, please, I need X amounts in Nigeria, can you go with me? And well, let's also hope that our politicians also help us in this area as well. We hope that our investors will be willing to come to Nigeria and invest with us, because ultimately, to build green and smart, and those money are hard currency, they are not even Naira. One of the technology we want to deploy will convert plastic to electricity. Just one of those machines will cost $5 million. So it's a lot to do green housing anywhere in the world, but we're hoping to attract international investment.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen Akintayo, for joining us. We seem to have run out of time, although I would have loved to ask you, why is it that buildings are always collapsing in Nigeria? Usually some of these buildings were put together by developers, but okay, we've run out of time. Thank you very much for joining us.